illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques.
This is the elbow.
An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
We have the illegal elbow.
Welcome back, just like that!
Hey, welcome to Illegal Elbow MMA and more. This is Brian from LegalElbow.com and Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter. Little hype train derailment in this little extravaganza that UFC had this past weekend with the Thursday, Friday, Saturday night fight cards. Starting off with a major hype train that Dana created and a Paige VanZant, who we were excited for, bro, going into this. And yes, people, we are going to go through, basically we're going to pick out some of the fights that we were watching and that we liked. And we're going to go through those because if we went through every fucking one, we'd be here for 18 hours. But
a little best of the weekend.
But starting off with the first hype train derailment was Paige VanZant. She came in. We talked about it before the show, before the fight, man, about Paige VanZant being a grinder and stuff. But Rose Namajunas came in here and wasn't having all that, bro.
Yeah. Oh, man. Namajunas technique, which I haven't, because of my lack of knowledge on a lot of these ladies, man, because I never got into any of the tough shows with the women or the guys. I mean, I haven't really watched Tough since 10. That pretty much stole it from me.
Rampage was breaking cardboard doors down.
Yeah, it was like, all right, no thanks, man. I'm done with this. It's too much cheese. It's even more cheesy than some of these, just the crap talking that goes on the WWE part of it. But yeah, that is it. But Namajunas looked awesome. Her technique was spot on. I think what they did was they took a page out of Holly Holmes' book and just said, let's just take the punch to her. Let's make it a technical fight rather than just go in there and have a slobber knocker with her. Because VanZant's real good at just bum rushing and street fighting somebody, but no technique whatsoever, man. I mean, and I didn't see that coming. I mean, we should have seen it, but I mean, at the same time, what's the reference point? You know what I mean? We haven't seen a whole lot.
Like you're saying, you don't know the other chick's background. You kind of, we know Paige. We know what she's all about.
Right.
And so did Rose. Rose studied her good, man. Figured her out and imposed her will.
It was an awesome job, man. And it was...
Performance of the night.
Yeah, nice friggin' paycheck there, man. Nice.
And one hype train that did come through on this card was Sage Northcutt, dude. With Pfister coming in talking a little bit of shit beforehand. Sage just calmly worked his jits a little bit until Pfister fucked up and got his, a neck crank or a choke out?
Yeah, guillotine, yep.
Guillotine, yep.
Yeah, Pfister didn't look bad, though. I mean, he was able to get him down, and which was cool. It's probably the part of the plan, but he just didn't expect Sage to probably have much submissions, with all the karate talk,
Mm-hmm.
But
Sage was going for stuff, too, man, flipping them legs around, trying shit. He was
very busy. He almost looked uncomfortable at first when you look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he was really uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh shit, is he kind of where he doesn't want to be? What's going on here? And then
stayed patient.
Yeah, it looked good, man. Looked good.
And surprising one to me, Chiesa coming in here beating a Miller.
Yeah, I thought it would be good, man, but I thought Jim Miller would definitely get this, kind of the old man taking out the kid, But Chiesa looked good, man. I think Jim Miller is just, he's not old, you know what I mean? I think, he's 36, 32? Okay, shit.
He's in a holding pattern right now, and you might be thinking you might want to try some new things, get some new advice.
Yeah, it's Miller Brothers MMA, so I'd imagine it's probably his own school, or you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Some outside help might be needed for Jim Miller to keep going forward here successfully. All right, the next one we got coming up here is Tim Means looking good in his knockout victory against Mr. John Howard, which kind of sucks for John Howard. Had high hopes, but we did pick Tim Means just because he's a grinder, and I expected a grinder fight. Instead, he surprised us with a fucking knockout, bro.
Yeah, I love Tim Means, man. It's awesome to see him get back on track, with win over John Howard, man. John Howard's a rough, tough dude, man. So I love Tim Means' style. He's that like you said, that grinder type guy, but his striking to me looks better and better. Same with how he won this fight, man. It almost looks effortless for him, like he knows how to land on you, I don't know, man.
Got that timing.
Yeah, it's weird. He looks like a very it's like a street brawler almost, but he's almost at the same time you can almost call him a technical striker, man. Very, very good striker, man. I'm excited. A couple more wins, I think this guy can really find himself in a good spot, man, and maybe a little more ground training, maybe, something like that. But things look great for the guy, man. I'm excited about it. For sure.
All right, people, we're moving on to the Friday night card. The headliner was Frankie Edgar versus Chad Mendes. And a really exciting fight that we were both looking forward to was Joe Lauzon versus Evan Dunham, dude. Okay? We expected a war. Yeah, there was a war. And Evan Dunham was bringing the war, and Lauzon was just shell-shocked from the war. Because Evan Dunham just came in here with flurries and flurries of combos. He threw over 300 punches in this fight nonstop. He hit a switch or something, dude. This guy was like the Energizer Bunny Rabbit on here, dude. He just didn't quit. He just kept coming at fucking Joe Lauzon. And I don't think Joe Lauzon was prepared for this kind of onslaught.
No, I think Joe Lauzon watched a little tape. And I think Evan Dunham, geez, man, I can't say names today, man, not at all. But I think Evan Dunham really just upped his game for this one and wanted to surprise Joe Lauzon. And I think it worked perfectly because I don't think Joe Lauzon expected this at all.
Mm-mm.
He was expecting maybe a possible takedown. He could maybe sub him on the ground off his back, or something like that. That wouldn't be a surprise because they're both really good ground guys. But
it was like Lauzon couldn't even get anything going, dude, because he was too busy playing defense almost.
Yeah.
Especially towards the later part of the rounds there. It's like, I thought fucking Adam Dunham may get a little tired here and take it easy, but like I said, over 300 punches thrown, which means this guy was fucking, from the word get, was on Joe Lauzon's ass. So hats off to Adam Dunham, man. This is a good fucking win for him, bro.
He was all over Joe Lauzon like shit on a truck stop toilet seat, man. For sure.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And Lauzon stank pretty bad at the end of that fight. So,
he did.
No, sorry, just
clowning
like around people. But yeah, we've seen Joe Lauzon in that same situation before, man. So I think he's gonna have to do something with this, man. I mean,
and you know what? A head turner. We expected this, but there is some fight fans out there. Yeah, no, they've been watching Tony Ferguson. He's ranked at a 7 right now. He had like a 6-fight win streak before this win against Edson Barboza. And this really opened a lot of people's eyes from beating a veteran like Edson Barboza the way he did, bro. Just came in here, fucking took him out submission, bro. And it wasn't, after it was done, I really didn't see any damage done to him. Edson Barboza, from the word get, yeah, maybe he was feeling out process a little bit, there in the beginning, but he could never really get the Edson Barboza game plan where he sits there and attacks your knees and slips in some head kicks and stuff like that. He tried some of that stuff, but it was either Tony Ferguson getting the fuck out of the way or just straight up blocking it, bro. Tony Ferguson looked great.
Yeah, Ferguson, I thought it was a tough test for Ferguson too, man, because I saw a Barboza that I wasn't expecting, kind of. We saw he didn't throw as many kicks as he normally does. I think he brushed up on his work with his hands. You know, I saw a slightly different Barboza here, man. It wasn't his usual typical self. You know what I mean? Where he's, not to say typical, but you know what I mean. His usual self with, like you say, the kicks. You know what I mean? Setting them kicks up, setting them with a couple punches, bam, kick. You know, and almost by the time you're drawing back a punch and his opponent's reeling from the punch, they get a foot in the face, and it's the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? A good possibility. I mean, he's had a lot of problems lately, but hiccup here and two, here too there. But Ferguson, man, beautiful win. The guy's stand-up fights look really good right now. His boxing, his just striking itself has gotten so much better, and now we see he's got a great ground game going too now. So sky's the limit, dude.
Yeah, and it's we'll see what's going on, what's next for him, man. He's going to be moving up, man. 7, I'd have to say he's probably going to be like a 4 or 5. You know, we'll have to see though. But so. We got to watch out for him, man, because he's climbing the fucking ladder. But another guy that's on the top of the ladder, and anybody that comes near the top of the ladder, he just kicks their ass, and that's Frankie Edgar. Okay, Money Mendes it sucks for Money Mendes. He's been on the short end of the stick the last 2 fights. For me, he's, being short in stature and stuff like that, it kind of hinders him a little bit in some of his techniques. Just the way he's compact and he fights. I don't know. But going against Frankie Edgar's been there, done that, dude. Yeah, he's 34 years old right now, dude. But he's probably like a 38, 40-year-old, really, with all the ring wars he's had in the octagon here. It's just, if you're looking in the dictionary for or Wikipedia for the guy that's got the most heart and has been in the most war, you're going to see a picture of Frankie Edgar. Okay, and this guy sitting at number 2, you can scratch your head saying, okay, you got Chad Mendes. What's next for a Frankie Edgar? Is it a Max Holloway? You say Max Holloway called him out, bro, right?
Yeah.
And then we were talking a little bit ago about, okay, Frankie Edgar making short work of a Chad Mendes, and then a Holloway basically being unscathed in his fight. These guys could probably match up with each other in the next 2 months, dude, and do a contenders match to go against Conor McGregor. And we'll get into Conor McGregor situation here in a little bit. But Frankie Edgar, you got to give this guy either the contenders match or the fucking shot at the belt right now, okay? No more, like you're saying, going in reverse here for Frankie. So,
right. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if they have him do another fight like that. But I think he does deserve a title shot. I mean, they've talked about it, and it's like, well, let's get it on, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to give Aldo the rematch. Like we talked about before the show. But I think he deserves it, man. Talking about Edgar, so we'll see what happens, man. We're going to take a quick break, man, and we'll get back to it, people.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to go over the Saturday.
Wait. I'm sorry. Oh, do you hear that, people?
Oh, shit. Oh, that's the way to start it off, brother. Okay, we are going to start off here with this, probably I'd have to say one of the better cards you're going to see around, okay? They put together a damn good card. Okay, starting it off, the commander-in-chief, the headliner, the main event artist, the main event artist of the prelims, Uriah Faber, okay? He holds that crown, people, just so you know. And we coined him the champion of the prelims too, because for some reason he's always headlining the prelims. But anyway, that being said, it was an unimpressive fight for a guy that's been in the sport for a while, and you want to see a progression from Uriah Faber if he wants any chance of getting back up the ladder. Because if he's cracking back up in the top 10 and fighting some of these guys, I don't think he's going to fare well now, dude. He didn't look like a commanding fighter to dominate a guy that he should have dominated, dude.
No, Frankie Zion's I thought looked great in this fight. I mean,
yeah,
I would almost, I don't want to say, Sure, Uriah Faber won. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say anything besides that. But it was not a pretty win by any means, man. There was nothing in that fight that said to me this guy,
Is
you
ready
know,
to
could be a
climb
good
back up.
matchup for a Dominic Cruz that he talked about in the post-fight press conference. That a possible matchup for a TJ Dillashaw or Dominic Cruz. It looked nothing like that to me. Like
Somebody should have put a finger over his mouth and
yeah,
hushed him. You know,
yeah. I
that's
mean,
just crazy talk.
it really is. I mean, I thought Zions looked good out there. And even for Frankie Zion's not saying he's a nobody, but I mean he's a guy that's I don't even believe he's ranked yet or even.
I'm not trying to sell him short, but if we're talking about a Uriah Faber, we expect a lot more out of a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
I couldn't have said it better, man. I couldn't have said it better. Perfect way to put it. We're not shitting on Frankie. It's just Uriah Faber. If you want to look any more towards any top fights, you should have stopped this guy. Stomped his guts in. I mean, so.
and then to come on the mic and start calling out people like Dominic Cruz, dude. Like I said, you need to hush your mouth.
Yeah.
Hush all that crazy talk because
I mean, styles make fights, but I mean, I just don't see him penetrating
make
either
fights.
styles. You know what I mean? I just don't see him doing anything to either one of their styles.
they make great fights sometimes, but the thing with me, the bitch that I have is, to me, Uriah Faber actually has to fucking like reel off like 3 or maybe 4 fucking fights in a row, dude. You know, it's like don't start calling out people because of your name. You just haven't fucking proved anything to us. That's why you're sitting down in the prelims right now, dude. And when you're in the prelims, you don't call out people like Dominic Cruz. But that being said,
main eventers,
yeah, it's just like that being said, we can move on from there. We'll see what happens with Uriah Faber. You know, if I was Uriah Faber, I'd be planning on trying to get 3 fights in 2016, dude. You know, You're not getting any younger.
No,
So,
and he did mention that too. He said, "I'm not in this for the long haul. I'm in this for fun." You know what I mean?
yeah, okay.
Talking
Yeah.
nowadays,
Yeah,
I'm in here to
yeah.
get in and get it done now. He said, "I'm not going to be here forever." So.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. He is a legend. You know, he is kind of a legend a little bit. You know,
33-8, man. I can't bag on the guy. I mean, the guy's, but what we're saying is true. I mean, it's just true. It's like at this point, it just kind of looks like, I'd like to see him get it. I'd like to see him get another title shot. That'd be kind of, I'd like to see him earn it though. You know what I mean? And that too.
just to me, before we move on here, Uriah Faber, it's the same flash and flare Uriah Faber trying, this and that, and it's, he's toned down on that a lot. Okay, and it's not
as
just
quick
because
as he used to be.
no, exactly, and that's what I was saying. It's not just because he's done it on purpose. It's because his body's different now. He's slowed down a little bit. And that being said, we haven't seen any progression, and this fight is a perfect example. If we would have seen Uriah Faber come in here and dismantle this guy, then we'd be talking in a different light. But we're not. So, like I said, we're going to see in the future what the future holds for a Uriah Faber, the California Kid. That being said, a Max Holloway is turning fucking heads, dude. Okay? Jeremy Stevens is nobody to shake a stick at, okay?
No.
Jeremy Stevens is a damn good MMA fighter. But Max Holloway is on a different level. And we've seen that. Yeah, it took him it took a full 3 rounds to beat a game Jeremy Stevens, but he had no trouble doing that. He was unscathed. He was kind of like, we can harken back, we just talked about Tony Ferguson. He's the kind of guy that you're going to do all your shit and do all that shit. He's not going to be there when you do it. Or he's going to defend it. And then he's going to come back at you with his offense. This guy right here, I think Jeremy Stevens was just kind of a guy in his way for Max Holloway on his way to the top. Max Holloway sitting at a 5 right now, dude. I could easily see him at a 3 or a 4, coming into, a couple weeks or whenever they do the rankings again. Max Holloway is on a collision course with the belt, dude. This guy is that good. He called out Frankie Edgar. We talked about that before. It'd be a perfect contenders match, bro.
Yeah, you're talking about Edgar and him and Edgar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think him out.
I think it's great. Yeah, he called him out in the post-fight press conference and said that'd be a good match for me to, basically a good match for him, and being that Frankie's pretty much ready to get the title shot. like I said earlier, I don't think he should get it.
Mhm.
I mean, not saying I don't think he should get it, but I think Frankie Edgar deserves a shot more than Holloway
Yeah,
deserves a shot at Frankie. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
We
I
gotta
don't know. I
we
don't want to
gotta
shit on his
yeah.
his chances with Edgar, but
But if you're gonna have a lower tier guy that just jumped up some, who could probably even jump up to like a 3 just because you're looking at his past fights, which now is 8 fights in a row, dude, against the likes of, Jeremy Stevens, a Charles Oliveira, a Cub Swanson, a Cole Miller, a Coruscant. You know, they're not chumps,
right.
but then again, you're like, hey, you got to be like everybody else. Maybe one more fight before contenders match, but I just think right now it would be a good match, just because, like I was saying before, he beat Jeremy Stevens, came out of there unscathed. Frankie Edgar totally dismantled a Mendes, so they might be ready in like a couple months to do this fight contenders match, and then going into springtime, maybe May or something like that, they could go against the champ, Conor.
Yeah,
But
I could
we'll see.
throw another one at you though. What about a Holloway versus a Mendes? If they want to have
Yeah,
they're probably going to sideline Connor anyway.
yeah, oh yeah,
You know what I mean? So that kind of makes more sense for maybe what you're saying.
yeah.
Give him the Frankie fight.
Connor's like a Rousey, where they need time to hype. You know what I'm saying? They need those months of hype.
Plus, he's been
The
pretty busy though.
commercials
I
and
mean,
shit. Yeah.
I guess he's kind of been busy. I mean, he kind of had to take a fight because Aldo had to call off or whatever. But
And speaking of fights that are coming up, I just want to say this. Calling out the Rousey home rematch that's going to happen in June or July. The fuck is that? Shut the fuck up. Fucking have Holly Holm fucking fight somebody else before that, dude.
yeah, no,
Wait till summertime.
he doesn't want to he wants to give his home girl another shot.
Well, we're gonna get the
That's why-
rematch around It should be. You guys just hold on. It should be around 2018. We could get talk about a rematch between Holly Holm and Rousey. So you guys just stay in the just watch your emails.
You know what though? If they're that's what I'm saying though. If they're giving everybody rematches, man, they gotta hold to that though. You know what I mean? Because I don't blame them for giving Ronda a rematch. You know what I mean?
No.
She's got to heal up. Number one, she's got 3 to 6 months right there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
She got the break speed off her.
she did. I mean, she got embarrassed and I mean just blown out. Her fucking face was blown out.
Because we're not even talking about physical healing too. It's probably a lot of mental there too, from getting her first loss.
Yeah.
I don't know how to take it correctly. I got in a little argument over there on Fightbook about, one of the girls over there on Fightbook, flying over there in Ronda's corner saying, oh, everybody with the memes and stuff, they're so mean. In social media, everybody's going to poke fun when you're down, okay?
Yeah, that's just the way it is,
She
man.
comes back and she wins, everybody will be on her shit again. I had Ronda winning, but I'm not going to sit there and coddle Ronda. Ronda's got to take shit just like everybody else that loses. She doesn't get special treatment from the fans. They're going to give her shit. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
Okay,
Her
that's
especially,
it.
man. All the trash she talked about how
No, that's what I
she's the
said.
best there ever is. I mean, come on.
And then she says, oh, she's going through a lot of mental troubles right now. She's having a hard time. You guys need to lay off. I'm like, yeah. Is that after she counts her $1 million or before?
Right.
It's like, really, okay. Me personally, I'm not shedding a tear over Ronda because she's over in Hawaii right now, healing up and having a geo time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, I just couldn't do it. I can't sit there and she's got to be like everybody else. She shouldn't be put on a pedestal. She lost. Take your licks. Come back stronger. Period. I didn't want to get off track, but
No, I hear you, man. That's like any sports figure. You know what I mean? I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I mean, I guess whatever, it depends on the circumstance, but I mean, in the same situation with Ronda. It's like, yeah, sure, it sucks, man. You lost. There's a first for everything, But at the same time, like you're saying, it's like, no, I'm not gonna feel all that bad for you because you're set for life. You don't ever, and it's not money's not everything, but people. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, think about the fact that you don't ever have to worry about money again. As long
And a
as
lot
you,
of
as long as
people
you
in next
spend it
generation
right.
in your families don't have to worry about it either.
Yeah. If you invest wisely and you're not a typical football player that blows all. There's so many guys out there that have just blown through their money and they're working at a freaking grocery store at age 50 because they don't know anything else.
Well, yeah, we're talking about dudes that are buying yachts too. I
Right.
don't think and Rhonda, she still has a lot of money to make.
Right. Yeah.
And her talking about, oh, if I come back and I don't win, I'm going to retire. That's bullshit because there's still a lot of money to make. She's butthurt right now. She's going to make comments that she probably wouldn't make if she had some more time to think about it and let shit blow over. Because every day after this loss is going to be an easier day for her.
Right.
Of coping with the loss, getting back in the gym, and wanting a true champion. If they lose, they're going to do everything in their fucking power to get that belt back. And they're not going to sit there, and make statements, oh, if I don't get it, I'm going to quit. That's just
the
a
Brock
knee-jerk
mentality.
reaction,
No, true. And if that's the case, and she does pull out of it, I mean, I guess, it's up to her. It's over whatever she wants to do. But I mean, it's kind of a Brock situation. It's like it doesn't go easy for me. It doesn't go well for me. I'm going to duck out. He's done, and I'm not saying that just to rag on Brock people. He's done it several times. He did it with football. He did it with wrestling. He did it with, what was the other thing he did it with?
If I'm not winning, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
No.
But the thing with Ronda is, it's like, you can come back, you can take a different approach at a Holly Holmes. You took a fucking approach that you shouldn't have took. Okay? Fucking come back, game plan. Like I said,
Yeah.
Right now, if I had to pick and she came back, I'd have Ronda winning again. It's just because I think the champ would come back. But it's like I said,
learn from her mistakes. Totally different approach. She could have won that fight. Totally different approach, but it just, everything happens, the way it does because of the way they plan.
I'm no MMA fighter, but I'm gonna tell her this right now. The first place you need to start, and it's not fucking striking, and it's not takedown, it's not jiu-jitsu, judo, or any of that. It's fucking cardio. Get your ass out there and start running. I never see fucking Ronda Rousey running, dude.
No, another good point though too is we got way sidelined. Apologies, people, but another good point to throw at that is I think she had an adrenaline dump when she just got bludgeoned in the face.
And not only that, if you think about it, she was throwing fucking haymakers that were missing. That expends energy. Takedowns that failed. Takedowns that Holly Holm rolled the fuck out of and took your ass down.
Yeah.
And that all happened in the first round, dude. Like you said, fucking adrenaline energy dump.
Yeah.
You could see it coming out of that fucking into the second round. She was a walking zombie, dude. It was only a matter of time.
And coming into the second round, I think she was still dazed from the first.
And
that's going to have an effect on your movement and everything.
And Holly Holmes fucking talked on that. But anyway, it's fucking time to fucking.
Yeah. UFC 193 rerun down.
Yep, I know. Sidetrack Central, sidetrack Central like usual. But anyway, people, we're gonna get back on track here, and we're gonna get back on track with another fight that we talked about before this happened. A Gunnar Nelson going against the jiu-jitsu master Damian Maia, and we all set it up, and we said this is what Gunnar Nelson has to do. He has to have some superior takedown defense and keep this shit standing up, and he wasn't able to do it. No. And we talked about the Gracie accolades. Gracie blowing smoke up channels and all this other shit. That's great. And we also talked about, okay, who's he rolling with? What kind of talent is he rolling with? And I guarantee you, he doesn't live in fucking Brazil, the frickin' mecca of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like Damian Maia has. and Damian Maia is a fucking multi-champion in that
World.
in that world.
Pretty
And
much, man. Yeah.
fucking Gunnar Nelson felt it, man. Gunnar Nelson took some fucking punishment like he's never taken before, dude.
Yeah.
When it comes to fucking getting fucking beat down on the ground, fucking mounted, beat down some more.
Do you ever see, well, like when you're at the train tracks and the thing comes down and the train's rolling by real slow,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it almost comes to a stop. It's almost like somewhere along those train tracks they have guys running around it, checking it out, make sure everything's good.
Make sure everything's on the track still.
And check it out, check everything's tight, everything's good. We're just doing an inspection here. That's where Gunnar Nelson is right now. The train has officially been stopped.
Yeah.
Because for a while there he was a train rolling through, and it was like, man, all eyes on this guy right now. This guy looks awesome, and it's just when we saw that Rick Story fight, that exposed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And came back with a very impressive win over Brandon Thatch. But it's like Brandon Thatch,
Could we coin him untapped potential?
Gunnar Nelson?
Yeah. Or now I don't want to say wasted potential because he's still too young, but it's very relevant to me. Wasn't he in his last fight always looking over to his corner? Was he the guy that was doing that?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, it was one guy that was doing that.
But, you know who that was? And that was in the Cormier fight against Gus.
Oh, yeah. That was
Gus.
Okay.
Staring at his corner. It was like, that was
I was
weird,
close
man.
though. I got the country right? Norway? Or no, he's from Sweden. He's from Norway. My bad.
He's from Iceland, but he trains.
Yeah, Iceland. Yeah,
he trains with Connor and them.
The thing I'm going with the Gunner is, a certain amount of training, but it's not progressing him. Maybe we have some yes men. I don't know, but it's not looking like. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say this: Gunnar Nelson probably would have fared a lot better if he would have fought a different guy. Okay, put it that way.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking a lot away from a Gunnar Nelson, but if you want to be an all-around MMA fighter that wants to excel in this sport, you have to beat fighters like Damian Maia. You have to be well-rounded. It's like, yeah, we know you have a hella fucking Superman fucking straight left and quick hands like no other, but you were not able to use it in this fight because Damian Maia right off the get put you in his world. And
I could have told Joe Silva, whoever made the match, Shelby, I could have told either one of them guys, this is a mismatch, guys. Don't even do it. It's a complete mismatch, unless Gunnar Nelson, like you said, comes out here and has a supreme stand-up game, he's going to get fucking bull rolled.
And you
He's
saying
bull
that
right over him, man.
Yeah. And you saying mismatch is fine, but you can't coddle him. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was saying, he's going to have to fight these guys sooner or later if he wants to, if he wants to get up the whatchamacallit. And Damian Maia,
it was a good opportunity for him. You know what I mean? He's got 10 submissions to his 14 wins. So, I mean, it's a good opportunity for him to really make something happen.
But there is not one time in any of that grappling situation there that I thought Damian Maia was in trouble, dude. Maybe for a split second somewhere, but...
Yeah, you're probably right. Not at all.
And Gunnar Nelson was in survival mode. It was like I didn't see any offensive trying to work for shit. It was pure survival mode, and that gets me back to, yeah, Gracie's. You can say this guy has potential. He looks great, but he hasn't tapped it yet. So maybe he can learn from this one, dude. I don't know. He's young, so we'll see what happens. But switching gears over there, Damian Maia, man, fucking A, bro. Damian Maia, it's like you taking out fucking Gunnar Nelson, taking out Neil Magny.
Yeah,
it's like
all the guys that are looking impressive coming up, he's stomping them down the ladder.
I'm still here, guys. I might be 40. I might be 42 years old, 38 years old, but I'm still here.
Yeah, no, and he's damn impressive. He's much the senior of a Gunnar Nelson, man. I mean, it certainly wasn't the case of the young guy taking out the old guy. Not by a long shot. It was out by the woodshed there, but
one of the surprises of the night, I'd have to say, and I didn't expect this, and we know Yoel Romero is a badass, okay? He is a fucking spectacle, okay? Physical spectacle.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo Souza is also a guy that has to be respected and and we've said it before, he's kind of a guy, if you're looking for a guy that's gotten screwed at title opportunities, you'd have to say Ronaldo Souza.
Yeah.
And it finally came up to Ronaldo Souza. It sucks, but now Ronaldo Souza has to go back down the ladder after waiting all this fucking time. Because of Yoel Romero, and we had questions with the Yoel Romero coming in with his cardio, and yeah, he might have been tired a little bit some of that time, dude, but he got a fucking Souza down, or he went after a Souza, and he kind of like dug deep, bro, is what I seen out of Yoel Romero. Yeah, he got gassed, but he said, fuck it, I'm digging deep. And I give him props for that, man. It was a good victory for Yoel Romero. Could have been a little controversial, maybe, because it was, some back and forth there. Maybe in the second round too. But, he took the first round, so, because we're talking on social media. But Ronaldo, man, you want a fucking title shot. We talked about before. You got to fucking show that you're ready for it. Take out a Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero wasn't having it. I give props to him, bro.
Yeah, no, Yoel Romero looked great, man, and he many props to him. And with these wins that he's getting after that the suspect cardio or whatever, I think that's a question that's getting answered now. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, of course he's going to be a little bit labored because he's got that
addressing
muscle.
it in his training regimen.
Yeah, he's got that muscle that he's carrying around, but he's able to use that to his advantage and outpowering some of these guys. So it's really helping him out a lot. And I got to wonder if this question's being answered about Souza is because he's been busted a couple times. Is he one of them guys that can't use anymore, so we're seeing the after effects? He's been busted before for steroids, and I don't know if he had a TRT exemption at one point. Mm-hmm. And now that he's not on those, we're seeing the after effects, like a Bigfoot or like a, shit, I can't remember the guy's name. He was a Strikeforce guy. Got beat a couple times at UFC. I think he might even be cut now. But talking Fajal.
Yeah.
Fajal has had a real rough road after his use. Him getting.
And some of these guys are still getting busted to this day, and you just scratch your head like, it's. You
What
can't
are you
keep
thinking,
doing that
man?
shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
They're so hooked on it. They've been doing it probably since they've been in teenagers, dude. And I'm not lying either. So, a lot of these guys coming up, they fucking start them out early on fucking cycles. So,
and the few that we just mentioned right now too are all Brazilians. We don't know how they do it over there. We don't, not exactly, but we know a lot of them guys when they were over in Japan and stuff like that. That shit was flying around like joints. I mean, people were just passing that shit around like nothing.
And some of these guys, and we're talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they'll use TRT in fucking jiu-jitsu matches for stamina and strength. It's like same kind of shit.
They'll use it for healing, just to heal up quicker. You know what I mean?
So it's running rampant over there. But now they got to understand the masking agents aren't working anymore. You get busted, you're fucking out for a while, and it's gonna hit you fucking in the pocketbook. But whatever, that's a whole nother story, dude. But hats off to Yoel Romero. I really feel bad for Ronaldo Souza, but hey, Ronaldo, fuck, man, he wasn't letting you. Yoel Romero just used his power, and fucking Ronaldo Souza, another guy that would have less power, he could have probably slapped on some fucking subs. But Yoel Romero is just a fucking beast, dude.
Yeah. We got that question about Souza too, man. So I think he's got a couple years left here, and that's going to be about it. He's age 36 right now, so if he's going to get anything going, he's got to get it on and get it now. I think maybe his title opportunities are pretty much gone.
And UFC, and I'll say it again, didn't do him any favors. Okay, the guy should have got a fucking title shot probably a year ago, but he's just one of those guys. Once in a while, you're going to get caught in that that trap, I guess. I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate.
Climbing out of the web, and sometimes the spider,
you climb out of the web, and if you're lucky enough to climb out of the web like a cowboy and finally make it back to the top after fighting so fucking long,
7, 8 fight wins.
Ronaldo was right there, dude. But I could say, hell yeah, if he would have beat Yoel Romero, maybe they give him a title shot. But then again, maybe they wouldn't have.
And it'd been interesting as hell too, because it would have been a rematch, Souza and Luke Rockhold. That would have been fucking interesting as hell. So.
Yeah, and and we're going to be talking about a Luke Rockhold versus Chris Weidman and the main event here when we get back after this short break, people.
Chris Weidman defending his belt against Luke Rockhold. And going into this, man, I'm like, you know what? I'm not really sure Chris Weidman's. I'm just,
I flip-flopped a bunch of times in this one before the fight.
Yeah, I always had a question about Chris, man. Like with the not the Tito Vitor Belfort fight. I thought if he didn't get that to the ground, he'd have been in trouble, man, serious trouble. And like we saw in this fight, he was in trouble on the feet, big time. Tried a lot against the cage to get this to the ground, and had a very hard time on the ground too. I mean, some success here and there, but just
the spinning kicks aren't working, bro.
No,
They lost the fight for you, bro. Just so
that
you
was
know.
that was the downfall, beginning of the end, right there. That was horrible, man. And I just think there's a lot of holes. They discovered all the holes in Anderson Silva's game. Well, leaving holes in his game. Chris, I think was gun shy in that fight a little too much. I think maybe a couple of shots that Luke landed nicely kind of left Chris like, oh shit, I'm in a real fucking fight here. I think Chris underestimated him a little bit. Respected him, but maybe overlooked him a little bit.
Yeah, it was a degradation of a champion there, a slow and a beat down, And towards the end, it got really nasty,
It did. It's like, Joe was like, what's it going to take to stop this fight?
No, that's what I said. I said, Herb Dean has gotten social media-ized, because, I've given shit to Herb Dean. You've given shit to Herb Dean and he's one of the guys that have had the most early stoppages, in my opinion, dude.
Yeah.
Him and Mazzagatti, he's right up there, okay? But this one, he let it. I don't know if he was giving the champion too much of the benefit of the doubt, which is kind of understandable. But the champion did not he wasn't, when you're not intelligently fighting back and you're just sitting there in a shell and most of the shots are fucking getting through your pathetic defense and he's got full mount on you. Yeah. What does it take to stop the fight?
Yeah.
And we just let the more bloodletting just continued right after that. And he was ready to stop it after that all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, I'm going to stop it now. But, that's fine. But, yeah, it should have been stopped at the end of the previous round. But that being said, man, Chris Weidman, I had all the way up until we basically did our show, dude, I had Luke Rockhold. Because I had Luke Rockhold, and I was thinking what Luke Rockhold did against Machida, just overpowered him. Lock, and I kept saying it at the fight. I said, Luke Rockhold would have no problem going up to fucking light heavyweight, dude.
Yeah.
With his body style.
Yeah. He looked, his last couple fights, he's just been owning people, man. Talking Tim Bosch, Bisping, Lyoto Machida, and now the champ. Those last 5 fights, including Costas Philippou.
If you really look at his body style, he has kind of like the fucking perfect body style, dude.
Yeah, his last 5, every one of them been stoppage. He hasn't gone a decision his last 5 fights.
And I thought coming in here that, hey, the champion, master of the game plan is what we thought. He mastered the game plan against Silva. He figured out what a Belfort's weakness would be.
Yeah.
And I was
like, Machida too.
And when you were saying, you weren't impressed with his striking in the early parts of the Belfort fight, I kind of shoved that aside, being that, okay, he didn't practice on that because he had it in his mind he was going to take Belfort down. So he said, fuck it, okay? That was bad on my part because he did not have a quality enough striking game to stay with a Luke Rockhold, dude. And his striking game just got worse as the fight went on.
Yeah,
because he just slowed up because he was just beat to fuck. And it just he was just in there surviving, dude. The champ was just surviving. It was like I said, it was the degradation of a champion, dude. A fucking degradation.
He didn't look bad coming in. He looked fine coming in. It looked like a good performance was to be had by him that night, but it's just.
But like you said, there was a part in that fight where he realized that he was in a fucking war, dude.
Yeah, and it just, as it went on, it was like it affected him worse and worse and worse. I think some of those body shots really got to him, man.
And not being
nasty hits.
Yeah, and not being in a situation like that where you can be like a great, like a GSP who can dig deep and show that you're a champion and come back and win a fight. Chris Weidman, man, hey, you were champion, but when you lose like this, like unanimously through the whole thing, there was no question until you got put out. There's questions that I don't think you're going to be wearing that strap ever again as long as Luke Rockhold is in this division.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's
so-
just, once these dudes that are, beneath the Silva, and then Chris Weidman gets the shot, gets the belt. I think these guys that are just waiting around, okay, you know what? There's just
It's like a 5 minutes of fame almost. He's
really
holding
was.
it for longer than 5 minutes, but it's akin to what's his face, who had it for a minute. Fucking Big Rig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he defended his belt 3 times. Well,
Yep.
on his 4th, he lost. So
Props. But 2 of those times, one of those times was against Silva. What was the other ones? I'm fucking drawing a blank.
Lyoto and Vitor.
Okay, yep. There we go. And those aren't anybody to shake a stick at, but Luke Rockhold, in my opinion, is almost like the new breed right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's molded his body. He's been through the losses, dude. Luke Rockhold is just not somebody that's got a 20-0. Luke Rockhold's been through some fucking losses here, okay?
Yeah.
So, he's been through the shit. He's learned from it, apparently. You know, so it's like 15-2. He's learned from his 2 losses. And that was to Vitor Belfort.
His entire Strikeforce career was undefeated.
Was that a TRT Vitor?
Yes, it was. Yep.
Okay.
He'll fucking smash.
You're automatically going to put an asterisk if you're a fight fan. I'm sorry, I'm putting an asterisk because it's an automatic asterisk. You're fighting a guy that's fucking juiced, and we know about it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
If somebody's fighting juiced, and I say he might be juiced, I don't know he's fucking juiced all the way. I'm going to say maybe he is, but he still won. I'm going to give him the win. But if it comes out that you were juiced, that's when I'm going to put the fucking asterisk, and I give an asterisk to that. But I can't see his other loss. What was his other loss? You might have
way early on. It's 2007.
Yeah.
Tony Rabulkava.
Yeah. So he's fucking lost back then. Took a little hit, then fucking all the way up, beating a Ronaldo Souza, which you said would have been nice if Ronaldo didn't lose and they would have possibly had a rematch, and then finally loses against the Vitor, who was jacked up.
Right.
So if you take that out, maybe we could say he's fucking
15-1,
16-1.
Right.
Yeah. Or just take that fight out of there. 15-1. It's like Luke Rockhold right now he's the kind of guy that you can look at and say he's got the body type, he's got a good enough striking game, and he's badass on ground and pound that he could hold this strap for a while, bro.
And his height and reach are just
sick,
awesome, man. They're great. His entire Strikeforce career was undefeated. So it's a little fun fact for you there. All the way from Josh Neal up to Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, Luke Rockhold. I don't think I'll be picking against Luke Rockhold anytime soon. I flip-flopped on the fence, and I did pick Luke Rockhold, and there's older shows that prove that I did. But just as we did our show, I just thought, fucking Chris, because I factored in the Spider Silva and blocking the leg and Luongo, and we talked about Luongo Saracamp, dude.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that I even have to factor in, bro. If they were to fight again down the road, because and I'm going to get into this to the Aldo about the rematch shit, about the instant rematch, and I don't think it's good for champions, sometimes, but I'm going to get into that in the next, in the McGregor one. But, dude, he has a fucking chance to be something special here, dude. So it's like, we might be seeing a guy that's, might be around for a while fucking holding that belt, man, because he's just that good, dude. He's just that.
So what do you think if Vitor Belfort and Anderson Silva are set up to fight? So what do you think? You think UFC is going to have them fight for a title shot? Or do you think it's just...
people will be screaming from the fucking rafters, dude.
I'm sure.
It's
but
like...
I'm not sure if Vitor beats him, he deserves a title shot, though. I'm not really sure. Because he's coming off a loss right now. I almost think it's like one of them fun fights. Not necessarily for total competition, but for
And it's almost like, too, the
like a
UFC
super
can be
fight,
saying, is this how we're going to treat Belfort? He loses, he wins, he gets back another chance, he loses, he gets back another chance. How many times have we fucking seen this dude? He skipped around weight divisions. He's done all this fucking shit. I'm getting tired of Vitor Belfort, dude. Because when the lights are on, Vitor Belfort gets knocked the fuck out. He's either got a foot in the face or he's getting grounded, pounded out. Okay, there's going to be a time where the twilight is close, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm
38.
saying? For him
right
and
now.
Spider.
Blah. Blah.
This fight is not attractive
Blah.
as it was 5 years ago, bro. For me,
No,
So-
it's not.
so it's just like, yeah, we'll see what happens out of the two of those winners, but I don't think they should get a fucking even sniffer shot. There's other guys in there that deserve it more than them, dude.
No, I think it's
fucking
more
win
of a,
loss guys.
it's
you know?
more of a super fight kind of a thing.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
You know,
It is, and I'm tuning in for that. But I'm tuning in for you beat this, and you got to win one or two more. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like, and Father Time's against you now. So, but
So thinking about Father Time, man, what do you think of Jose Aldo? You think Father Time's catching up with him, or just
nope,
a fluke shot? You know, you think?
nope. And I'm sitting here today on here, talking to you guys out here, shooting the shit with Brian here, and it still hasn't fully sunk in. Not that Jose Aldo lost, but the way he lost.
Right.
Because I've seen plenty of Jose Aldo's fights. Jose Aldo doesn't fucking rush in like that. Jose Aldo has never fucking rushed in like that. Jose Aldo sits back, he sets up his game plan. He sets up his kicks. He waits till you fuck up. When have you seen this, bro?
Yeah.
You know, I put it to a kin almost of pretty damn close, and they're not on the same level, of course, but of a cat, Zingano, fucking running in blindly on a Ronda Rousey.
Not only that, a Chuck Liddell. He used to sit back all the time and let guys come forward, and them coming forward with all that momentum just makes the punch land even harder.
When did you ever see fucking Jose Aldo fucking rush in with his chin like that, dude? It's just like, Jose, man, you should have stayed back with your fucking kicks and worked your kicks. And I thought he was, because I said it. I said, fucking, when we watch Conor McGregor, he's got that wide ass stance.
Yeah.
That knee is perfect fucking meat on a bone for Aldo to attack. You know what I'm saying? Chew up
Bludgeon,
with
man.
that fucking kick. We've seen a disfigured Uriah Faber. We've seen dudes basically buckle over and have to quit.
I think he fought with emotion. I think that's why. I think it was
Joe
Conor-
called it.
Conor was in his head. What's that?
Joe called it in the beginning. He says, Conor looks good. Jose Aldo looks like he doesn't want to be here or something like that.
Oh yeah. He when they were doing the whatever touch gloves or whatever. Jose Aldo, he looked like he was uncomfortable.
I thought he dropped some change on the ground, dude. It's like fucking kept looking down.
Yeah, I do not. I think Conor was fully in his head, dude, and I think he went out there wanting to fucking just tee off and kill him.
He had to be, because this was that's what I'm saying. I'm not stunned that he lost, because he deserved to fucking lose, and anybody that comes in like that is going to fucking lose. It's just not the old Jose Aldo way.
No, it's not.
And what I said, it's either one, like you said, he's just out of his fucking mind and he did some stupid shit, or two, he's been out for what, like a year now?
Probably
He's
longer.
going up. Yeah, he's going up against a top tier guy. In my opinion, in his best interest, I would not get a fucking instant rematch with Conor McGregor. I would get a warm up fight.
Year and 3 months.
Get some confidence back, dude. I do not think an instant rematch is good for him, and I don't think it was for. It's just he needs a warm up match, bro.
Yeah.
Where he gets back in the ring with Conor McGregor, dude. Because Conor McGregor has not. He doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have him really physically or anything like that. He's got him mentally, dude.
Yeah.
He's got him. As soon as he closed the gate, he fucking had him, dude. From all that shit talking that apparently Jose Aldo said he wasn't bothered by, was fucking bothered by. Jose Aldo should have been, I'm the champion. I'm staring this motherfucker down like I want to rip his fucking heart out, like all champions we see do. You know,
Didn't see any of
it's
that.
like I just
no.
thought he was focused and shit. No, he wasn't even that, dude. It was 10 seconds. If you count it, he was unconscious at the 10-second mark. And that punch that landed after on McGregor was a punch by a knocked out person. Believe it or not.
Right. Yeah. Right.
McGregor was, you might not see it a lot, but that McGregor got knocked out or hit in the face by a knocked out person.
Right. I think a lot of stink probably came off of that punch once he connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, okay. And Jose, you could also say Jose Aldo was going in for the knockout shot. But when does Jose Aldo do that, dude?
Well, this
Jose
is the
Aldo
thing.
puts a game plan down, always.
This is the thing. Conor McGregor's like, he's like, I've seen that punch many times in my head, and this is, this could whatever, all mumbo jumbo, whatever,
that
just
could
him
be
talking shit.
Self-loss.
Right, but this is what he said. He's like, I've seen that in my head several times, and he said, I knew. He said, what did I tell you? He said, I knew that he was going to overextend with the right and expose himself. And he said,
And
that's just what
and
he
we
did.
talked about it too, and I did say it. I had fucking Aldo winning this, but I said if Jose Aldo loses, it could be by what he beat Mendes with, which is Conor McGregor's patented fucking punch, dude.
Yeah, and he's
Patented
Conor
punch.
McGregor's a lot of power, and he's very accurate, man. And that's one thing that Chad said. He said it's the thing with Conor McGregor is he's powerful and he's very accurate.
Shots. Yep. He is. And Conor McGregor, I expected this, and even Conor said, I expected, a fight. He didn't never. Who expected this, bro?
No, yeah, nobody.
It's like a stun,
Nobody.
dude. This puts it up there with the Spider Silva knockout, the Spider Silva leg break, the Vitor Belfort kick in the face.
You could do this fight 10 times and that would not happen again.
Dude, there was 2 stunners in a row, dude. On this card.
Yeah,
Actually, 3, if you think about it. The first one with Souza wasn't as dramatic, but still, it was a stunner just because, come on, Souza, I thought you were ready. and Rockhold decimates the fucking champ, and then McGregor decimates the champ.
Yeah.
Who would have knew? Who would have fucking knew, dude?
Who'd have thunk it?
But that being said, people, we will probably be back, what do we have next week before we get out of here, dude?
That stacked ass card on the 19th.
Yep, and
might have to jump in and do some picks or something. Just a quick.
Let's just do that real quick. We're gonna take 10 minutes out, people. We're gonna do a quick pick 'em here, due to time constraints. But this is a good card here, man.
Steadfast.
God beer.
Hit the music. All right, people, thanks for tuning in, man. It was a blast. Don't forget to check us out, MMA Aftermath on Facebook, MMA Aftermath on Twitter, also Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And head on over to illegalelbow.com. Check out the top 20 heavyweight list and the heavyweight forecast and all the extras and new stuff that Brian's been putting on. That's illegalelbow.com, people.